All right, so today we're going to dive into something that I think is pretty interesting and pretty mysterious for a lot of people. It's the Cook County tax sale. Now, you might have heard, stories about it, savvy investors snapping up properties for pennies on the dollar, but we need to clear up some misconceptions right away. When you're bidding in the Cook County tax sale, you're not actually bidding on the property itself. Instead, you're vying for the right to collect those delinquent property taxes. So it's kind of like buying a tax sale. So are you intrigued?
I hope so, because today we're going to be using the 2022 Bidder Packet as our guide. It lays out all the rules and procedures for this high-stakes game.
And it's a game that demands your A game. We're talking about strict deadlines, penalties for slip-ups, and enough paperwork to make your head spin.
Oh yeah, this isn't your casual weekend real estate browsing. This is serious business. So what's the biggest misconception people have about Cook County tax sales?
I think a lot of people just assume it's a really quick path to property ownership, that it's some kind of real estate shortcut. But the reality is, it's much more nuanced than that. You see, the 2022 Bidder Packet is laser-focused on the bidding process. But the actual acquiring of the deed, now that's a whole other legal battle, often requiring you to navigate a maze of paperwork and court proceedings.
Okay, so let's start to break down this bidding battlefield. And let's start with registration. The 2022 packet throws a deadline right at us, November 27, 2024, 5 p.m. sharp. Miss it, and you're out. No excuses. They also demand a lot of personal information. Photo IDs for everyone involved. It sounds intense. And then there's a non-refundable collateral deposit of at least $1,000. What's the deal with that?
Think of it as an entry fee, a demonstration of your serious intentions. The deposit actually increases based on how much you plan to bid. This ensures that only those with the financial muscle can even get a seat at the table. It's also a safety net for the county. It protects them from bidders who might back out.
So it weeds out the window shoppers and ensures that everyone's playing for keeps.
Right.
Yeah, a lot. Now let's talk tech. The sale itself is entirely online. But here's the kicker. You still have to physically submit your bids. At the Cook County Treasurer's Office. Why the hybrid approach?
Yeah, it's a curious blend of old school and modern. Right.
Yeah.
It likely boils down to security and transparency, ensuring a verifiable paper trail for every bid. And before you rush over there, make sure to double-check your browser. Chrome, Edge, or Firefox only, no mobile devices allowed. I mean, just imagine the frustration of prepping for weeks only to be thwarted by an incompatible browser.
Talk about a digital disaster.
Yeah.
All right, so we've registered. We're at the Treasurer's Office, hearts pounding, ready to bid. But hold on, how does this auction even work? I'm used to, dollar amounts, bidding wars, frantic hand gestures.
Yes. Well, the Cook County tax sale kind of marches to the beat of its own drum. Forget dollar amounts. Here you're bidding by offering a percentage of penalty interest. Lowest interest rate wins. It's a subtle but very significant distinction, demanding a whole different strategy.
So if I bid 0% interest, I'm essentially saying I'll take the delinquent taxes as is. No extra profit for me. Is that even a smart move?
It can be, especially if you're confident in your ability to eventually acquire the deed and recoup your investment through other means. But here's where things get even more interesting. Multiple 0% bids trigger, a random selection by the system, like a lottery within an already tense auction.
Wow, so even if you play by the rules, a dash of luck is still in the mix. Okay, this prior sale and error list keeps popping up. Why is this so important for bidders?
This list is like a treasure map of past mishaps, revealing properties where previous tax sales were voided. For various reasons, and believe me, the reasons can be quite varied. Sometimes paperwork errors lead to a sale being voided, or there might be legal challenges to the property's title. It's not just about avoiding potential headaches. This list can actually reveal patterns, common pitfalls, and even hidden opportunities.
So it's not just due diligence, it's about learning from the mistakes of others. I'm sensing a pattern here. This isn't a game for the impulsive or uninformed.
You're catching on. It's about strategic maneuvering, informed decision-making, and frankly, a bit of a poker face. The stakes are high, the competition is fierce, and every detail matters. Maybe we should delve a little deeper into the nuances of the bidding process itself.
All right, let's break it down further. I'm particularly intrigued by this single simultaneous bidder rule. It sounds like they're cracking down on any funny business.
Oh, they absolutely are. This rule is all about ensuring a level playing field, preventing bidders from using any kind of sneaky tactics to gain an unfair advantage. I mean, imagine trying to game the system by having your friends and family register as separate bidders just to increase your chances of winning.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So they're onto those tricks, huh?
Oh, they're wise to it. The Cook County Treasurer's Office has seen it all. They have the authority to bar anyone who violates this rule from the entire sale, not just a single property. And they're not afraid to use it.
So it's not just about losing a bid, it's about being kicked off the island altogether. Yikes. That raises the stakes considerably.
It does. They even use Social Security numbers for verification to prevent fraud and ensure everyone is playing by the rules.
No room for shenanigans here. I'm starting to see why this bidder packet is so detailed and comprehensive. It's about protecting everyone involved.
Exactly. It's not just about legalities. It's about transparency and fairness.
Right. We've covered registration, the tech setup, the unconventional bidding process, and the importance of due diligence. What else should our listener be aware of as we delve further into this world?
Well, hold on tight, because we're about to unravel the mystery of the Sale and Error Fund and explore the potential pitfalls that might be lurking within. It's about to get really interesting.
Okay, so we're back and ready to unpack this mysterious Sale and Error Fund. It sounds like some kind of safety net, but for whom?
Well, it is a fascinating mechanism. It's designed to protect both the buyers and the county itself. Think of it as a buffer, against those unforeseen hiccups that can sometimes derail a tax sale.
Okay, I'm all ears. Walk me through it.
So every winning bid comes with a $100 Sale and Error Fund fee tacked on. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind. This money goes into a collective pot, like a reserve fund, to reimburse buyers if a sale is later voided due to, a mistake, an error.
So that's where the error part comes in. But what kind of errors are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Is this common?
Well, it's more common than you might think. Sometimes a property might be included in the sale accidentally, like maybe due to a clerical error or a misunderstanding about its tax status. Or there could be a legal challenge to the sale that arises after the fact.
So it's like an insurance policy for tax buyers, protecting them from those unforeseen circumstances. Makes sense. But what about the original property owner? Where do they fit into all of this?
That's a crucial question, and it highlights a key aspect of tax sales. You see, even if you win the bid, you don't automatically become the property owner. The original owner still has a right to redeem the property.
Redeem, you mean they can just buy their way back into ownership?
Exactly, within a certain time frame. They can pay the back taxes, interest and any fees incurred during the sale, directly to you, the tax buyer, and reclaim their property.
Wow, so there's a lot of uncertainty baked into this process. You might win the bid, pay all the fees, and still not end up owning the property.
That's right, and it's definitely a risk that all tax buyers must consider. But remember, even if the property is redeemed, you still receive the back taxes and interest, potentially making a profit.
So it's not a guaranteed path to property ownership, but it can still be a profitable venture. Now, the 2022 bidder packet mentions another fee, an indemnity fund fee. What's that all about?
This fee is a bit more intricate. It's calculated as $80 plus 5% of the delinquent taxes and interest you purchased. It's a safeguard against title issues or other unforeseen problems that might pop up down the road.
Okay, so it's like another layer of protection for the buyer.
Yeah.
But what kind of problems are we talking about?
Well, imagine winning a bid, paying all the fees, and then discovering that there's a lien on the property from a previous owner. Or maybe there's a boundary dispute with a neighbor.
Yikes. Those are some real headaches.
Exactly. The indemnity fund is there to help cover the costs associated with resolving these kinds of issues, to help protect your investment.
So it's like a shield against potential legal battles. I'm starting to see why this whole process is so complex. There are so many moving parts and potential pitfalls.
You're absolutely right. And we haven't even touched on the possibility of the original property owner filing for bankruptcy.
Oh boy, that throws another wrench into the works, doesn't it?
It certainly can. Bankruptcy proceedings can significantly impact a tax sale, potentially delaying or even voiding the entire process.
So even after jumping through all the hoops, paying all the fees, navigating the redemption period, there's still a chance that the rug could be pulled out from under you.
That's just the inherent risk of tax sales. But
Yeah.
for those who are prepared, informed, and willing to navigate those complexities, it can definitely be a rewarding endeavor.
All right, so we've covered the sale and error fund, the indemnity fund, and the potential for bankruptcy to disrupt the process. What other surprises lurk within this 2022 bidder packet?
Well, we've talked a lot about what happens if you win a bid. But what about the actual bidding process itself? Maybe we should delve into the specifics of how those bids are placed and managed within the online system.
Okay, let's get technical. Walk me through it.
Remember, The entire sale is conducted online, but you still have to physically submit your bids at the treasurer's office.
Right, that quirky hybrid approach we discussed earlier.
Exactly. Now, once you're registered and logged into the system, you'll see a list of available properties, each with its own set of details, including like the delinquent tax amount and the minimum bid.
So it's kind of like a browsing an online catalog, but with much higher stakes.
That's a great analogy. And just like browsing an online store, you can add properties to your watch list or your cart, so to speak. This allows you to track them and prepare your bids.
So you can strategize and prioritize which properties you're most interested in. Makes sense. But how do you actually submit a bid? Is it like a live auction format? Are we talking like frantic button-clicking virtual bidding wars?
I'm not quite. The Cook County tax sale uses a sealed bid system. You submit your bids electronically by the deadline, and the system automatically determines the winner based on the lowest interest rate offered.
Ah, so it's more strategic. Less about split-second decisions and more about careful planning.
Precisely. And here's a crucial detail. You can actually submit multiple bids for the same property at different interest rates. This allows you to kind of hedge your bets and potentially secure the property even if your initial bid is outmatched.
That's a clever tactic. So it's not just about finding the lowest possible interest rate, but also about anticipating what your competitors might offer.
You're catching on. It's a game of strategy and anticipation. Now, remember how we talked about those random selections? When multiple bidders offer 0% interest.
Yeah, the tax sale lottery, as I like to call it.
Well, the online system is designed to handle those scenarios seamlessly. It incorporates a random number generator to ensure a fair and transparent selection process.
So it's not just about the lowest bid, but also about a bit of digital luck.
Exactly. But remember, even if you win the bid, the journey doesn't end there. The next step is payment. And the bidder packet outlines some strict deadlines and procedures for that as well.
Okay, let's talk money. What do winning bidders need to know? I'm guessing those ACH debits make another appearance.
You bet they do. So if you win a bid, you'll need to act fast. The clock starts ticking the moment the online system comes back online. After that bidding window closes, you'll receive an email notification letting you know the results are in. And you can log back in and see if you've secured any properties.
Okay, and I'm guessing there's a tight deadline for payment.
You bet. You have until 11:59 p.m. the next business day to pay the full amount of your winning bids. Delinquent taxes, interest, and all those fees we've been discussing.
No rest for the weary, huh? So how does this payment process work?
It's all done online via ACH debit. Make sure you have that correct company ID handy. That's how they'll link the payment to your bid.
Okay, so no writing a check or making a bank transfer. It's all streamlined through the online system.
Exactly. And remember, your collateral can't be used to cover the cost of your winning bids. You need to have those funds readily available in your account.
So it's a separate transaction altogether. You're not just like dipping into your collateral to sweeten the deal.
That's right. And if you fail to make those payments on time, you could lose your collateral and even face personal liability for any shortfall.
Whoa, that's serious. It really underscores the importance of financial preparedness. This isn't a game of monopoly money.
Absolutely. The Cook County tax sale is a legally binding process
Right.
with real financial consequences.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, but I have to ask, with all these complexities, potential pitfalls, legal hurdles, is participating in the Cook County tax sale really worth it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer. I mean, for the unprepared or uninformed, it can be a recipe for disaster. But for those who are willing to put in the time and effort to learn the ropes, to truly understand the intricacies of the process, it can be a rewarding endeavor.
So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about strategy, knowledge,
Yeah,
and a healthy dose of caution.
exactly. And remember, even within the seemingly rigid structure of the tax sale, there's always an element of unpredictability. I mean, properties can be pulled from the sale at the last minute, legal challenges can arise, and the actions of the original property owner can throw a wrench into your plans.
So adaptability is key.
Absolutely. The more you understand those nuances, the better equipped you'll be to navigate those unexpected twists and turns.
Well, after this deep dive, I'm both fascinated and a bit intimidated by the Cook County tax sale. It's clearly a world unto itself, with its own language, rules, and procedures.
It is, and this 2022 bidder packet has been our guide through this complex landscape, shedding light on the intricacies of the bidding process, the potential pitfalls, and the rewards that await those who dare to enter.
And for those who are intrigued enough to venture further, where should they go to learn more?
The Cook County Treasurer's Office is a great resource, with a ton of detailed information available on their website. There are also numerous online forums and communities dedicated to tax sale investing, where you can connect with experienced buyers and learn from their insights.
So it's about tapping into that collective knowledge, learning from those who've navigated these waters before.
Precisely. And remember, the more you learn, the more you realize there's always more to discover.
Well said. To our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating, complex, and often unpredictable world of the Cook County tax sale. We hope you've gleaned some valuable insights and perhaps even sparked a newfound curiosity.
And who knows, maybe we'll see you at the next auction.